What's up, everybody? It is legitimately going to be loud. I forget this gentleman's name who helped me out in the comments. You're going to hear me breathing. You're going to hear my nose hairs twitching. It's going to be... You're probably going to have to tell me to turn it down. So let me know. But for every person who tells me it's too low, we'll just go up another decibel. Just keep cranking it. We will crank it, crank it, crank it. See, I already messed it up. Hold on. All right, that should be better. Yeah, exactly. Florida. You can hear my synapses firing. My P's and my S's are going to be very poppy. Lots of pop. What's up, everybody? We'll get started in a few minutes here. Okay. All right. We're good. Oh, the infinity mirror. Oh, gotcha. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone had a glorious Thanksgiving. We just fix some windows and we will be off. Just do that. Ba-boom. And we will put this over there. See, I gotta... Hold on, let me squeak around a little bit here. Again, it should actually really positively be louder this time. There was a setting in OBS that I messed up before, so hopefully this is good. But if it's too quiet, let me know. All in all, we look good on price. In general, things are trying to happen. What I'm mainly just concerned about here is the mean reversion potential is high. Like, yes, we are in a bull market, but the mean reversion potential is still like a 20% move lower. So that's not going to go away. That's just there. And that's there until we either consolidate for an extended period of time, like a month or two, or we actually pull back. And it's just a probability game. Do we think we can break 100K and hold 100K? Do we think we can break 100K and push to whatever? We're just as overbought here as we were in March. it's a different environment, obviously, now versus March. But the TA is basically the same. Going into March, we did have a rising wedge. I don't see as big of a warning sign from a chart pattern perspective here. We do have a fractal stop loss at 90.8. I will be selling BTC in the trading stack at 90.8. That is the trailing stop loss. That happens if we close below that level. And if you want to sell before then, that's up to you. But that is the systematic trailing stop loss. We created a low here. If this is truly bullish, we should not make a further low. We should not make a new local lower low. That's all this is telling you. It's not telling you we can't go to 300 in July. It's telling you every day we tick and we're below 90.8. There's a low probability in the near term that we see bullish continuation. That's all it's saying. So the idea here, if I turn this on, this is again the old pitchfork where it's overbought as we were in March. We've hit the old take profit zone. There's a yearly pivot up here. It's certainly possible that we keep going. In a post-halving year, in an election year, we can, again, we can make stuff up and say it should keep going because it has before. It wouldn't be wild to see us above 100. The next level would be 116, 117. There's bear divs all over that as well. We can turn on RSI. There's a bear div there. There's plenty of justification for a pause or pullback here. So we turn all that off. Here's my ideal setup. This is my ideal setup. Ideally, we don't actually cross the trailing stop loss at 90.7, 90.8, whatever it is. Ideally, we don't, but if we do, the rebuy level would be 79, which again is dramatic. It's excessive, but that tells you how much we are overbought here. And if you're curious on the hit rate of this stuff, just backtest it. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. The trailing stop losses have an extremely high hit rate. Even in March, although we did not pull back immediately, that was basically the top for a while, right? So this was the first trailing stop loss that was triggered. The close would have been here, March 16th. So as of March 16th, it's telling you, based on the programmatic trailing stop loss, systematic, however you want to think about that, then you're out. So that's part of me is thinking about that here. If we get there, if, right? I don't want people to think, oh man, I got to do everything now. This isn't financial advice anyway. This is just analysis. I'm just telling you how I see it. After this triggered, this was a rising wedge. We broke down, trailing stop loss. After that, then we built this huge head and shoulders pattern, broke down, built an inverted head and shoulders pattern, broke up, and then, we chopped around for a good long while. But the point was we didn't keep going. We had to consolidate for a little bit. Now, again, this is different than March, but that's in the back of my mind here. What's going on? If this, then that. If we break 90, how long does it take us to reconsolidate and get back to 100? If we break 90, do we hit 79? And let's say you don't like 79 on the pullback. That's fine. But as an example, I like bids here. But if you like bids at 88, if you like 25 bids between 88 and 79, if you like a few down here, right? I would get crazy with it because you never know. In pullback land, if it happens, how low we go, right? The cloud is just telling you that that level is specifically a 50% retracement. Let's see if we can find it. It's not that. It's somewhere. Is it here? Yeah. So it's from October to present, basically. The 50% level is there. There is more conviction of a pullback if we get the C-clamp. We are starting to get that. You know, if you know, like a C-clamp that you put on a table and it holds something down for you, in like a workbench, same situation. This is telling you that we're overbought. We know that, right? Duh. So the question is this a 2023 to 2024 situation where we tap the blue line, the Tenkin, and we cruise for a bit? Or is this closer to February, March 2024, where we shot straight up and then went sideways for a little bit? That's the question. Now, I don't see anything bearish. I was certainly more bearish if you go back and listen to some of the March stuff. Certainly more bearish in March than here. If we rewind the clock to this over here, everybody and their mother was talking about this at the time. It's not like I had some magical idea that nobody else did, but this is not what we want to see, right? We do not want to see a multi-week rising wedge breakdown. Now, we don't have that here, to be clear. Here, we've got kind of nothing. You know, that's not a bad thing. It's just I don't immediately see anything here. Maybe some sort of ultra low time frame inverted head and shoulders trying to play out something like this, right? We may get a 4-hour TK recross bullish, which should help us move higher. I posted about the edge-to-edge thing, where if we do break into the cloud again with a bearish TK cross, this is all cloud specific stuff. If we break down again, we probably attempt that mean reversion and attempt to break the daily trailing stop loss. You know, a lot of this is just like, again, decision tree. Where do we think we go if we go up? Where do we think we go if we go down? What is the trailing stop loss? You know, if we want to simplify all of that, that's all this is. And then from there, you work this out into, okay, anything that's not BTC is leverage. Do I want to be in leverage up here? I don't. Do I want to be in, you know, MSTR, MSTRX, MST, CoinL, blah, 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 right? I think it's a little early for that. I would much rather wait. The Williams fractal system also helps with entries. So let's say if you're completely out and waiting, it's just telling you to wait for a new all-time high break, which you know, it's just a lot of people have a very hard time buying highs. They wait for the pullback, the pullback never comes, the high comes, and they do not do anything. I know a lot of people who just can't, you know, add on highs, basically. So you have to map that out for yourself. If you're going to be active and do anything at all, you know, what happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? What happens if we go sideways for 3 months, right? What's up, Jeremy? I wonder if that's my brother. I don't know. It might be. All right, let me catch up with chat. It's loud, normal volume. Can't hear me, says Brian. I'm going to pretend Brian is being sarcastic. What are the odds we hit 100K in 2024? I mean, isn't that the question that everyone's asking? GS visuals. Do I think another cycle will happen? I mean, we're in a cycle right now, Rich. The question isn't, do I think another cycle will happen? The question that should be asking is, what happens in 2026? Do we actually get a bear cycle in 2026? A lot of people think it can't happen because of MSTR. Now, MSTR is probably going to keep buying and not selling BTC, but what happens to all the other companies who got roped into buying BTC? I say roped like it's a bad thing, but all the companies that are following MSTR, like no-name companies like Hoth Therapeutics or whatever, right? All those companies that are buying BTC, what's going to happen to them in 2026? Are they going to sit through the down move and hold? I doubt it. Now, admittedly, it's a smaller percentage than MSTR, BTC-wise, but it's not nothing, assuming we get more and more companies, right? You know, MSTR is max conviction, max hodl. Everybody else, who knows what they're going to do, right? Who knows? Purple Haze. Have you seen this analysis of MSTR? It's a pyramid scheme. Yes, it's a pyramid scheme. So is the dollar. The dollar is a Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme. It's like your numerator is a pyramid scheme. Your denominator is a Ponzi scheme. You know, like, okay, like he's just going to keep borrowing as long as he can borrow at low interest rates. And as long as there's appetite for it, he's never going to stop. Today, he's probably tapping the ATM. Wednesday, he probably tapped the ATM. You can tell because if MSTR isn't following the 2x products and it's going the opposite direction, that's probably him selling. C-clamp on the weekly? Probably. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's not there, right? But then you have to sort of quantify this and say, okay, what percentage above the weekly are we here versus any other time? And then compare that to any other time and say, okay, in December through February, right, we held sideways for like 6 weeks. Maybe that's what we need here. Let the moving averages catch up. Or, again, if we have an August 5th situation, which I don't foresee in the immediate future, but that was the carry trade unwinding, I think, right, that week. The current weekly level is, where is it? If I can find the stupid line. Current weekly level, 63, 63.2. I don't foresee us going down there, but the level exists for whatever reason. Should we do that, right? It's not about being married to one idea. It's about understanding the probabilities and the possibilities of what might happen here. The weekly to me looks great. We broke out. The cup and handle thing is still on. Targets on this are infinity still. This still looks really, really good. So I'm not particularly worried about it going back to 63. I think that's a little silly. I think what's more possible is 79. And even that sounds like crazy town compared to where we are here. Gosp, these are all people. These are not AI agents that I've paid to be here. Dominance looking dumpy. Yeah, we can look at that. How much Solana to retire in Thailand in 2026? Let me pull up dominance here. The other thing is if Sailor is buying BTC and he's not buying Solana or ETH, what do you expect to happen there? You know, do you expect ETH to overperform? I don't, personally. Dominance does look weaker than it has. On the daily, it is trying to make its way through the cloud on the daily. It's looked worse and still recovered. On the 3-day, it's mean reverted. You know, it's, again, this is like probabilities, right? You could say every time we've pulled back, you know, you go from BTC denominated to alt denominated, but you have to stop yourself out and then rebuy. if you want to keep up with BTC or not, and you just say, whatever, I'm going to take it, I'm going to eat it. Who cares? It depends on the person. But yeah, it looks weaker than it has. What's up, Liam? Liam, you're on Twitter. The chat. So I can see chat on Twitter and YouTube, but I'm talking to both people. If you're on one or the other, you can't see both chats, unfortunately. But yeah, dominance, I don't know. To me, this is still bullish. Trend-wise, it's still bullish. And if we break 100K, what do you think is going to happen to alts relative to BTC? Again, another part of this decision tree. My assumptions are BTC leads the direction, and then alts eventually amplify that direction. But what we've also seen is if BTC pulls back 20%, alts are going to be down 50%, 60%, 80%. It's unlikely that alts don't amplify the bearish direction immediately and have trouble keeping up with BTC above 100, at least temporarily. Yeah, I really doubt anybody cares about ETH ETF right now. It needs staking, and both ETFs need in-kind deposits, redemptions. There's also this crazy possibility that's probably not so crazy into 2025 where we get brokerages with crypto wallets. Robinhood would be ready for that already. Fidelity would be ready for that already. There's also a world where places like Kraken do a crossover and become more like a Robinhood. I think that's a possibility in 2025. I think everything's going to blend, So that would allow for the in-kind stuff to make sense better, easier. I think IREN, one of the miners, is talking about an actual BTC dividend denominated in BTC. Things like that would be possible. If, let's say, for instance, you're an IREN holder and you get the dividend and you have a wallet on a brokerage in BTC and they give you the dividend via the wallet, right? Things like that become possible if all this stuff is talking to each other. But staking is a big part of ETH ETF narrative if people are going to allocate there. It's just strictly worse to allocate into that versus staking, Jerry, my Williams fractal settings are just default. There's nothing changed there. It's just inputs are 2 periods. All this is saying is it's looking at 2 periods prior before it makes a decision on the fractal. So this fractal printed because it was the lowest fractal in 2 periods before and 2 periods after. That's how it decides that this is a local low. The same thing with the highs. It has to be a local high based on 2 periods before and 2 periods after. So for BTC, I guess we could measure the consolidation, if you want to call it that. That brings us to a 105 to 110. Sure. I think the biggest thing I see that's bearish to me is the Solana chart. I do not like this at all because this is either a potential head and shoulders or a diamond. Now that isn't to say it's an immediate short, it's an immediate sell. It's just saying it's trying to consolidate in a bearish fashion. That's it. How you interpret that or how you trade that is up to you. But it doesn't look like it wants to go up. Doesn't mean it can't, but it does look bearish to me up here. This would measure, if we go maximum, which I doubt, but maximum would be like 200, 187 to 200. I imagine it would find support somewhere down here in the high I guess, I don't know, 203 to 207, right? But this does not look bullish to me. Neither does this, by the way, Microsoft, right? It's the same idea. In crypto, this stuff happens a lot quicker. But this chart has just looked god awful for the entire year, honestly. Like, it has not looked good. So this either has to start making higher highs, or you just ignore it, because there's what else is there to do? This is not consolidating in a bullish fashion. That isn't saying it's impossible that this thing goes up. It's saying this does not look good on the cloud. It also doesn't look good. So that's how I feel about Sol. It doesn't have to break down. It just needs to prove that it's not going to break down, you know? Like, this is all I see on this chart. It does not look good. Haven't seen me use Alligator in years. Now, Alligator is similar to the cloud. I think it's more subjective, I think, and it's harder to communicate what exactly like the decision tree is per se. So on this, it's just 3 moving averages, 8, 3, 21, I think it is, right? Is that right? Yeah, 8, 3, 21. So it's the same idea of any moving average strategy. You're bullish when the slower moving averages are below the higher moving averages. When they twist, that's when there's typically a turn in trend or a trend reversal. When you start to, price-wise, drift into the moving averages, you're losing momentum. What else we got on this? You know, we can view these as like support levels on the way down. You can use the midpoint here as your trailing stop loss along with the fractals. It's just a lot going on, I think, relative to the cloud. But it's not a terrible system, you know. I still like it. I just prefer the cloud with the fractals versus the Alligator with the fractals. Yeah, that midpoint JC, it's really good at support resistance for sure. The Sol ETH chart, that one's kind of been all over the place. So you would think that Sol would have been a little bit more bullish here, but it really never broke away from BTC, and it really never broke away from ETH. This was the initial idea. This ascending triangle on Sol ETH, that broke up. Okay, great. That hit the target. This is just the measured move based on the depth of the pattern. And now what? You know, it immediately pulled back. You know, is this a head and shoulders? Maybe. It could be setting up for that. It doesn't look like bullish continuation here at the moment to me. You know, that's kind of the best I can do. I don't really see anything else. It looks okay. It doesn't look terrible, but it's not like a fresh, like down here, this was a fresh bullish breakout. This was a fresh chart pattern breakout. This just kind of looks like nothing to me here. So it doesn't mean one has to dump over the other one. It's just, I don't have a TA rationale that's good for anything here, you know. People are saying to hit the like button, and I can't agree more. I can't agree more. Isn't Robinhood looking at moving the entire brokerage on chain? Yeah, I think everybody is going to try to cut down on as much spend and cost as they can. And if that is done via blockchain, they're going to do it. Apparently, Vlad at Robinhood says that's where they're headed. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so that's Sol. You know, I wouldn't expect anything amazing here. I had thought this would at least try. I guess it did get to 260. I was going to say I thought it would get to 260. I guess it did. Wasn't 260. No, not quite. I think 260 was this measured move. Didn't quite get to 270. Just like BTC though, it also has the mean reversion potential to 200. So if I had to put a blind bid on Sol here, it would be 200 because that's a psychological level. That's the 50% retrace. To me, it looks more bearish than BTC because of the head and shoulders possibility. Now this could easily just cancel this out, go higher. You'd know it canceled this out if you got a higher high above 250, if you get a 4-hour bullish DK cross. Nothing has to happen here that's bearish. It just looks like it's setting up for bearishness. Probability would suggest a high chance of bearishness. Now, it's not going to move in the opposite direction of BTC either. So this would take BTC breaking down a little bit in order for Sol to actually get to 200. You know, it's not like it's in a vacuum. What's up, Marcus? ETH has this horrific pattern. I absolutely hate these megaphone broadening wedge nonsense. Specifically this version, because the question is like, okay, where's the breakout here? Where's the actual support resistance? It's just so all over the place. It's very hard to tell on low time frames what's what to me. Now, if you contrast this with, like, if we go to this chart, so this is TIA BTC. It doesn't matter what this is, but to me, if I'm looking at some sort of wedge thing, I want to see like a multi-month just grind and then some breakout here. This would be a lot more convincing than this low time frame ETH chart. So I don't really have much to say here either. It looks fine. You know, like it measures to 4K, basically, this little tiny thing. On the daily, it still has the cup and handle. We had talked about this. Like this cup handle, this measures higher still. It's got that to consider. It's got a weekly cup and handle to consider. On the cloud, it's fine. I think the issue market wide right now is everything just like went straight up, and everybody's kind of like looking at each other thinking, okay, who's going to buy here? Are you going to buy? Because I'm not going to buy. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to buy. Are you going to buy? That's what everybody's, to me, that's what they're waiting on. So it's not bearish. It looks fine. I don't know. I'm still holding my ETH. I don't have any issue with that, but it looks okay. It looks okay, right? And then you've got this other stuff. If it's not straight up and sideways and sort of waiting, it's stuff like Ripple and Algo and like fine. Like I don't know why this is going to infinity. You could say it's a new regulatory regime. It's going up. Fine. Okay. I don't have anything to say. It's bullish. It's just, that's not the issue. The issue is, okay, like, you know, you buy at 117, 120. Do you let some go? Do you just hold it? Do we watch the trailing stop losses here? There hasn't been a single trailing stop loss on Ripple since the breakout. I don't know. I don't even know what you do with this, you know? It's just straight up. Doge is kind of the same. I haven't looked at Doge yet. So what's your target for this? I don't know. The market's telling you that it just wants to keep going up. So don't even do anything. You know, what is there to do? Just let it do its thing. Most people are better off just holding and seeing what happens. I don't know what, I guess the actual all-time high is like 333 maybe? I don't know. Like I've got nothing here as far as analysis. Nothing. But it's bullish, right? Like I can't deny that. We had talked about for months and months and months, everybody who was asking about Ripple, which admittedly wasn't that many people, but they were asking me about it. And every time they asked me, I said, well, 66 cents was the level. And since then, it's been lights out. So it's been very tough to try to do anything with Ripple if you weren't doing something with it, sub $1. Maybe this is the 3 drives. Maybe the 3rd drive is the top. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. Doge has this weekly idea where, let's say this was a multi-year consolidation. The target for that would be 57 to $1. But you know, that's an ultra high time frame idea, not necessarily something you'd probably want to think about here. But again, it's like Ripple, straight up hasn't really pulled back. Does this have a stop loss? Yeah, I guess it does. Stop loss at 367 would be the trailing stop loss on the daily. I don't know. It looks okay. It looks fine. I don't know. You know, I don't know. It helps if you ask me about the same coin over and over again, because then I just don't look at it. So anything that's gone straight up, like why sell anything at all? Come back in February, come back in April, you know, like what is there to do? I don't think there's anything to do. Algo, I don't know, like maybe algo goes to $1. I don't know. It's bullish on anything you can look at it. But that's not the issue. The issue is it's literally vertical, right? That's the issue. So is this just regulatory stuff getting reweighted or re-rated or whatever? ADA, it's literally vertical, right? On the USD chart, it's vertical. I don't really have anything to say. This is why you always take this stuff seriously. These breakouts, you always take them seriously. Like, yeah, we had one here and it didn't go anywhere. Great. Cool. Guess what? The next one is up 200%, you know? So you do have to take that stuff seriously, especially after a multi-month drawdown like that. But it looks fine. I got nothing to say. I really have nothing to say. You know, this is outside of any like weekly time frame realm for technical analysis. I still think these are all the wrong chart to look at. You really want to look at the BTC charts. Is there an ADA? Yeah, I guess there is. So ADA BTC, yeah, it had this multi-year channel. It's still not above the March level of this year. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I got nothing else. Trend metrics, not yet bullish on the weekly. This could be an edge to edge on the weekly. You do not have a bullish TK cross. You know, we can tease this apart. This would be the level against BTC, 1500 sats. But I got nothing, you know, straight up. Bro, you got to do whatever you need to do with ADA. If you're in it from zero, just hold it. That's what I would do. I would do nothing but hold it. I would hold it till December 2025. Like, if you really believe in this, what are you worried about? I think it's not something for me. Okay, we'll put it that way. So you got that on your side. Daily looks great. Weekly looks great. I don't really have much else to say about it. That's it. That's all I got. Entries are hard without massive pullbacks. I agree. Florida. There you go. That's summarized. What minute are we in the stream? That's summarized 30 minutes in the stream. What else? Ripple, Sol, Doge, ETH, XLM. I don't know. I don't know. I got nothing. Do I want to touch this here? Absolutely not. Next chart. That's kind of where I'm at in my head here. 88 divided by Zcash? Why? Why do you want to look at that? That's like, a multi-year loser against a multi-year loser. Caspa. Let's go to TV for that one. It's like the TIA issue, it's the MSTR issue, it's the INJ issue, it's the Tau issue. Anything that's up 3 million trillion % when everything else kind of wasn't, what do you expect to happen here? Like NVIDIA, what do you expect to happen here? What's the highest probability outcome that you expect to happen here? I'm not like talking down to you. I'm just saying. What do you expect a chart that looks like this to do? The general market is bullish, absolutely. This thing has been on a tear for a while, right? Let's just throw out some numbers. So this thing was up 81,000%. Okay. What do we expect on this next leg? For me, it's like, if I was in this since 2023, I would have sold and never looked back. Looking at this in 2024, I'm not touching this. Why? That's how I feel. This chart on the daily has just been choppy up here. Probably because a lot of people are selling, I'd have to guess. Anybody that's up 1 trillion %. And it'd be the same if BTC looked like this, which on the weekly it does, but it's also not an altcoin. I don't know. It's just like, why? We can look at NVIDIA and say the same. Like, what else do we expect? This is just since 2023. Since 2023, NVIDIA is up 1,000%. Do we expect another 1,000? I don't. So, is this bearish? No, but do I expect another 1,000% on NVIDIA? I don't. That's all, It looks okay, but you have to make up your own plan. If you've been holding since 2022, then, you make up your plan and you say, I don't know. I don't know. I got nothing for you, right? Was I a buyer then? No. Am I a buyer now? No. Against BTC. Let's do this. Against BTC is the real chart. So this thing certainly hasn't been bullish recently. And again, that makes sense. It's up 81,000%. What do you expect, right? So I don't see a great trade set up for Cass against anything. Thank you, Vic. Again, I'm not talking now to Marcus on Twitter here. It's just like, the reality is it's already up 1 trillion %. Even if you're up 1,000%, isn't that a great time to sell? I don't know. That's just me, right? DM, I don't think so, but what do I know? I'm not a true believer. I wasn't in it early. This doesn't have to be bearish. It's just a relative value discussion. Look at all the Mag 7 right now versus the previous year, right? It's harder to keep pushing this up. That's all. All right. Bonk, near, LTC. Why is LTC lagging? Because it's LTC. AVAX. All right, let's go back to this. This kind of goes back to, let's say asset class. Crypto is an asset class. Crypto is bullish if BTC is bullish. Okay, great. Then you have sectors. You have layer 1, layer 2, GameFi, meme coin, AI, right? So intra-sector, you may have leaders and laggards. Doge clearly led the meme coin sector, right? Within the sector, you've got like 6 real options, maybe 4 or 5. Bonk, Whiff, Pepe. So I think you have to view it within that lens. Is Bonk just in a vacuum? Is it bullish here? Yeah, sure. Is it, a buy or sell here? I don't see anything at the moment, but let me remove all that. It's almost the wrong question to me because it's like, okay, what's the best representation in the sector right now? If there is one. And then is there a trade setup on any of this other stuff? Bonk, I would watch the 4-hour TK cross. Pepe, I would watch the 4-hour TK cross. And it's probably going to be the same with Whiff. Whiff, same thing. It's not bullish on low time frames. I don't see like a chart pattern here personally. SHIB, same thing. It's been consolidating. So that, to me, that simplifies it versus, okay, there's 25 options here. What should I do? I really like this one, but this one's got this, and is this a ETH ecosystem or Sol ecosystem? Sol ecosystem hasn't been doing so great. ETH has been doing better. ETH ecosystem has been doing better, and something like Lido is probably doing better. So it's up to you. Lido finally looks decent. It's Lido, so I don't know if it's a trade, but it looks good on trend. Near kind of goes back to the NVIDIA comment. Where is it? If, let's say semis in like AI hardware or whatever you want to think about that, if that is not as bullish as it was, do we expect AI coins to be as bullish? That'd be my first question. If that's what near even is, right? To the market, not to me, but to the market. It looks fine. It looks bullish. There's not really an entry here, but yeah, it looks fine. We can measure. This is the old measurement here. Make this solid. Most charts had this setup going into November. Going into October, Doge obviously broke out to infinity, right? Do we think near is going to keep going? It could. I don't like the risk reward setup at this price, but it's not bearish. It's not bearish. AVAX. AVAX looked okay. One thing you'll notice too is like the near chart looks like the AVAX chart to me. There really hasn't been any decoupling for a lot of these charts. Things get more bullish. As things get more bullish, you get more decorrelation, basically, right? In a bear market, everything correlates to 1, so everything is super correlated. In a broad bull market, everything is correlated. But then individually, like Bitcoin on a mind of its own, right? Doge on a mind of its own, Ripple, whatever, on a mind of its own. Things like AVAX and near haven't quite decoupled from like the broad bullishness, right? The charts all kind of look the same. Render probably similar. I don't have the full chart, but effectively similar. FET looks okay. It's also bullish, hasn't quite broken out yet. Is this AI? Is this idiosyncratic based on the coin? You know, I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I don't have a good answer. Would I touch a 5 million market cap coin? No, I would not. That's just me. Does Link have a head and shoulders on the 4 hour? Let's take a look. I'd imagine a lot of things do potentially. Not really. It's just what's the trade here? You know, is the trade here 3 to 6 months? We just sit in this thing and hope for the best. Do we think that's going to outperform ETH or Sol or BTC? That's the other question. You know, do you care if you're outperforming anything else or not? Do you care about the benchmark or not? Are you trying to find the fastest horse, or do you just like Link? Just in general, right? This again looks like AVAX, Render, Near. They all kind of look the same. LTC is a cadaver kept animated by the brain. That's good. That's good, Elixir. I like that. I like that. What's up, Ivy? CRO. Yeah, I tend to personally steer clear of exchange tokens. I'm not going to use the M word. I'm not going to say they are manipulated. I would never say that. The issue is just the supply is, you know, it is what it is, right? It's potentially an unregistered security. Let's go there if we want to. I'm not a lawyer, but you've got that. Not that that matters to anybody. But, you know, look at BNB. BNB definitely has a history of some interesting things happening there. On the weekly, it's still in the cloud. I don't really have anything to say, but on the daily, it looks like it's flagging for sure. And you can see, again, this was the trade. It's just, it's not even about what this is. It's like, okay, am I watching this on a trend metric that has a high hit rate on backtesting? That's kind of all that is. I like the cloud, so that's what I talk about, but that was the entry. Similar to Doge, right? You just kind of have to be watching this stuff. But up here, it's certainly one of the better looking charts today. It looks like a flag, you know? Definitely trying to flag out there. That's kind of all I got on that one. Is TA on meme coins real? So TA is just looking at the left side of the chart to help, I'm going to use the P word, predict the right side of the chart. Really, you're just looking at bias and probabilities in human behavior. So all the same stuff is going to appear on any market at any time in history, forever on back testing, forever on forward testing. It doesn't matter. It's always going to, something's always going to show up. So yeah, I think TA is real. LMWR? Lawnmower? Is that what this is? I do sort of remember you asking about this. Here's the example. Like if we took a time machine on CRO, this is like the pre-CRO breakout. I have no idea if this has the fundamental reasons to go higher. But you want this above the cloud. That's the trade. The trade isn't really like guessing on the way down. Is this the bottom? Is this the bottom? Hey, maybe this is the bottom. Oh, it wasn't. Okay, maybe this is the bottom. The trend is bearish. The cloud is telling you that possibly the trend is flipping at 25 cents or something, right? So it's looking better for sure. It's looking better. Is there anything else on the list? I mean, Curve was another one. It, for whatever reason, has been doing well. I couldn't tell you why. Maybe it's DeFi, maybe it's regulatory, right? This doesn't look like a terrible entry. I don't know why this would do well. I honestly don't. I guess if you're bullish ETH and you want DeFi and ETH beta, and I don't know. Maybe this is a terrible idea as a trade, but as a TA setup, you're above the high time frame cloud. You're above a diagonal that it's been for 2 years. It looks okay. I don't know if this is going to do well, but it looks okay. It looks okay. Just looking at my list. Is there anything else? Is there anything else in altcoin land? I don't think so. It just feels like everything's waiting for BTC to make a decision. FET. Yeah, I talked about FET. It looks fine. It's a little troubling that it hasn't at least caught up with the bullish stuff, like AVAX, Link, Render, Near. It doesn't even look as bullish as those do. So it's even lagging those. It's bullish on the trend or bullish on the cloud. This goes back to the AI semis question. Is like the semis trade done? Is it about energy and data infrastructure now? Is it about software now? If we look at SMH, this goes back to the Microsoft comment. This goes back to the comment about Solana. This does not look like it wants to keep going to me at all. Now, this doesn't have to break down, but it does not look bullish here. It looks like a head and shoulders. It's tried to break down for months. I would not touch this. And again, it doesn't have to go anywhere. It just, to me, does not look bullish here at all. As you can see, I've drawn this 65 ways at this point, but it's not like a slam dunk short, but I just wouldn't touch this. Now, you do have a high time frame TK crisscross. I don't care. It's just not for me. Whereas this looks way better to me. This is software. Software has plenty of room to me versus semis. And is FET trading based on the semis? I don't know. I don't know. I just think you're better off in obvious setups rather than these wishy-washy options. What's up, Mike? Sand. It's funny. It's funny how some people gravitate towards certain things. Let me find, like, if you want some YOLO 420 Blaze It lottery tickets, I gotta find, here we go. This was the old, again, if you go back and you listen to some of the stuff like months ago, this was the list. AXS, Mana, Sand, Flow, Algorand. Okay, this was my list of lottery tickets months ago. They went lower. Now they're back to the low or the levels they were months ago. Algo's above that, but they could. I don't know, right? I have no idea. Technicals are almost there, as in almost bullish for these on the weekly. This is like, I don't know, GameFi, what is this? Metaverse, I guess, stuff, right? Filecoin, not so much, but I don't know. Like it looks okay. It looks okay. I'll say this: if it goes higher, you can look back at these charts and say, okay, they went sideways for 2 years, 3 years. You had that. AXS is an inverted head and shoulders candidate, multiple years. Mana, same thing. Filecoin, same thing. Flow, less so. Sand, kind of. Algo, probably less so. But I don't know, right? I have no idea why anybody would want any of this stuff on a fundamental basis, but maybe somebody comes in and picks this stuff up. I don't know. The chart looks potentially bottomed. I don't know. I don't know. But that's the list of craziness. BNB looked okay. Let me find a chart I can. BNB. Weekly cloud looks okay. Weekly looks okay. This could be a cup and handle. It could be an inverted head and shoulders. It hasn't hit a new all-time high yet. It's got all that going for it. The daily also looks fine. Looks okay. No issues. I don't think it's bearish. Is this going to outperform BTC is the real question that I'd be asking with anything. Does this look bullish against BTC here? Not to me. It doesn't. Now, it may have some like relative value mean reversion thing, but it doesn't look bullish here to me. So it's not for me. But the USD chart looks okay. Maker. Do I play any sectors personally? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And we can look at like HNT. Hasn't gone anywhere, right? This goes back to that idea with Solana. Now, HNT is going to underperform Solana most of the time, but this had a head and shoulders going into October, and it's gone nowhere. So when I see stuff like this on higher time frames, I'm just like, okay, why? Just go elsewhere. HNT just looks like nothing, sideways chop to me here. Maker, somebody was asking, it looks okay. It's tough because there's 2 trades I take on the long side here after an extended drawdown. You either take it on the entry in the cloud. Okay, right there. That's the entry. You can see that. With the expectation it hits the other edge of the cloud. That's trade 1. And then trade 2 is the breakout where price is up here. So the edge to edge is over for the most part. The risk reward really isn't there. It's not quite above the daily yet. So me personally wouldn't open a trade here on this until it's above the cloud. But it's trying, it's trying. Just reading chat. Link to 100 is definitely doable top of the cycle. Right. Like we can talk about Solana to 1,000, ETH to 10, Link to 100. But that's not really the real or best way to understand this stuff, because if the Link goes to 100 and BTC goes to 300K, what's the better trade? Probably BTC. So it's tough. I'm not going to disagree that everything can do well if Bitcoin does well, but that's not really the question. The question is, can this stuff reliably outperform Bitcoin or not? That's the question. Link to total DeFi. What is the DeFi ticker again? Is it just DeFi? DeFi. Where is it at? Is there like a crypto cap? DeFi? Total? Okay, you're right. Total DeFi. Okay. See, this to me is like too narrow. I like where your head's at comparing Link to total DeFi. It's just, is that what we should really be comparing things to? I mean, I guess if you're like embedded in the DeFi ecosystem, it looks like it's trying to bottom. It's been almost a year, right? It's trying to get into the cloud. Again, I don't hate where your head's at. I just don't think that's the right chart to look at. That's all. At the end of the day, you want to be comparing to BTC probably. And this has just been down only for multiple years against Bitcoin. Curve is doing exceptionally well because BlackRock tested their 112 million USD, chose Curve. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's like upside risk on DeFi because the regulatory clarity is coming and institutions are going to start playing around with DeFi. You just have to be careful of these PR announcements, like such and such. You know, BlackRock's using ETH. Are they? Like, they might be using the blockchain, but does that mean price is going to go up on ETH? Right? What are your thoughts on using perps to HODL? HODL in a bull market? I don't understand the question. Sorry. Would I hold a long position for weeks? Yeah, I don't have anything against that. As long as you're okay with eating fees every now and then, it's not a bad thing. You benefit from momentum, you know. So if you don't think BTC is going to keep moving up effectively, right? You're going to be eating fees. Ideally, the fees come down as momentum comes down, but that's not always the case. So a great test for that was March to October. Did you want to be holding a perp from March to October? No, but you also didn't want to miss the breakout in November. So if you're good at market timing, you're better off waiting. If you're bad at market timing and you just want to DCA into some futures position and then add on conviction or something like that, that makes more sense to me. But again, up here, all the way up here, I don't love leverage up here personally. Thanks, Bremel. Do I trade options? Not really. I'm trying to get better at it, but not really. Target for sand is infinity. Boom. Got him. What do I think about Rune? Rune. Kind of like FET, you know, Aave. It's trend bullish. Hasn't really done anything. You know, it looks okay. It hasn't reached its target yet. I don't know. You know, the issue with this is like the TA might be absent of any actual setup or anything, and then it just moves 15% anyway, right? Like that just could be the market we're in. The upside potential is there on stuff that looks like this. The same with FET. You know, as bearish as I sound on something like FET, it's just like, yeah, this could be up 35%. I don't know. You know, it just hasn't done anything, whereas everything else has. Oh, lawnmower. It's not lawnmower, it's LimeWire. My bad. I like lawnmower better. Jupiter, I think that's on here, right? Yeah. It's the same with kind of this like soft bullishness that we're seeing in a lot of these charts. If Sol goes to 300, Jup is going to do good. It's going to do well. So if you're bullish Sol and you're sure and you're confident, then yeah. But I wouldn't just load up on the beta here, which is what this one would be, and expect this to outperform Solana, right? It looks okay. It looks okay. Link can 5x, BTC can 3x. I'll take Link. That's fine, Mark, Matthew, but you got to be confident and sure. And what happens when that doesn't happen? Ideally, you get 2 trades out of the deal. You ride BTC to whatever target, and then you rotate into Link when it makes sense. But Link against BTC is down only. It's down only. I haven't talked about TIA, but I can. TIA was a laggard. Is it on the list? Is it on my list here somewhere? Whatever, we'll pull it up. TIA was a laggard. Took a trade when it broke out of the cloud. Again, this isn't like GigaBrain, hyper quant. This is nothing crazy here. I'm always watching the same exact setup. And every day you ask a question. Is this above the cloud? No, I do not take a trade. And you do that for 6 months. And you do that for another 6 months. And then when the answer is yes, you take the trade. That's my thought. That's my thought process, right? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, so we're here now. It looks fine. I don't have anything to say about it. It tried to break up, couldn't. I got nothing. Looks okay. I haven't sold the stuff that I bought. I'm just going to hold on to it. TIA BTC is also kind of at a interesting spot. We pulled it up a second ago, but it has been in this broadening descending wedge for 7 months or something, and it's potentially trying to break out. So if we compare this to like Link BTC, it's 2 different charts to me. It just hasn't, it's trying, I guess, but it's not there yet to me. Link. So I don't know. It's personal preference. If you think Link's going to 100, go for it. Who am I? Like, what do I care, right? I just don't see it yet on Link. Just reading chat. Yeah, I should talk about MSTR and then we'll shove off. Doge BTC looks fine. The other part of this issue is like, okay, the trades that look good, again, I've literally gone straight up. So is there a great entry here if you're not already sitting in this thing? I don't know. Like, is this a flag here? Maybe. Is it an ascending triangle here? Is it some sort of representation of bullish continuation is the question. It doesn't look horrible. It looks better than Link to me. If for whatever reason we get this craziness above the weekly cloud, I guess that's what you're hoping for if this breaks up. It's just tough if you're not already in this trade. What do? It's hard. Definitely hard. IMX BTC? Just looks kind of blah. I got nothing. It's not bullish, I can tell you that. No, it's bounced a bunch, but I don't know. Like, I don't really see anything here. Isn't this another one that's up like 80 million%? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong on that. I thought it was up. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I guess that's INJ. The daily looks fine. Daily looks okay on the USD pair. These poor people. Hey, I joined late. Can you start over? Sorry, that's just funny. You can just rewind the stream, and you should be able to see what I was talking about with BTC. It's clear on the, sorry, Sol ETH. Sol ETH. Is there a channel here? I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's on these like relative pairs. Sometimes they get very, very wonky, and it's really hard to. It's really hard to see like what's really going on to me. ETH BTC is a great example of that. It like the general direction is usually easy, but to figure out like the day-to-day is tough. Maybe this is what you mean on Sol ETH, then we go to the bottom. I don't know. Maybe. I just don't have any great ideas here on that chart at the moment. It's okay, yes, but I just thought it was funny. I don't hold any Doge at the moment. I would not be opposed to it though. What is my favorite alt BTC? Honestly, probably TIA. I'm talking my book, obviously, but it doesn't matter what the ticker is. Okay, I could care less what the coin is. That's not the point. I just like stuff that has been beaten down for months and months and months and months. Like, not only is this consolidated downward for I don't know, what is it, 6 months? The 6 months prior, it was literally just straight down. So, like, who's left to sell at this point, right? Now, there's going to be people selling on the breakout, whatever. But I especially love that there were people calling for bullishness on this chart, literally all the way down. And now I don't hear anybody talking about it. Maybe there are people talking about it, but it doesn't really matter, again, what it is. It's just about the chart. I like that I'm there for the trend reversal. That's why I like charts that look like this. And if you look up, MSTR, let's talk about MSTR. People are, no matter what I say, people are upset with me about MSTR. Okay. The thing about TA is it's really good at math. Okay. It's not good at incorporating insanity. Okay. Let's just put it like that. That's not a bad thing, by the way. But it's telling me here at 480 it was overbought. At 550 it was overbought. Before this broke out, again, watch the streams weeks ago, watch the videos weeks ago. Before this broke out in October, I was talking about this level up here. Okay. That isn't a back pat on me. It's just, look, this is what the TA was telling me. So anyway, we're here now. What's the point? What trade is there to take up here? I don't have a great read. I don't have a great anything. Somebody was asking me about MSTR puts. I think that's very dangerous because the whole world is looking at this thing in a bullish fashion. Again, the insanity part of it. So it's kind of you versus the world up here. Not saying this can't break down or shouldn't break down, but you just got to keep that in mind. I don't see anything here. You know, it bounced on the daily Kijun. What else is there to do? I don't know. That's why you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss Doge in October at the breakout. You don't want to miss MSTR in October at the breakout. You scan enough of this stuff over multiple years, and you make sure you are there, right? Whatever the outcome, that's not the point. The point is, I know what can happen when we're looking at charts like this. If we go back to here, I know what can happen when charts look like this. So I want to make sure I'm there. And that's exactly why I traded it the way I did. So at this point, what else is left? I don't know. It would make sense to me if this consolidated. It would make sense to me if this just chopped around. It would make sense to me if Saylor kept tapping the ATM and bringing the MNAV down, because it's in his right to do so, and he wants to buy more BTC anyway. That's about it. That's all I got. You have to be rooting for him to do well and succeed if you're in crypto, because this is the kind of the whole story right now. Regardless if you think it's a pyramid, a Ponzi, whatever, he's getting away with it, and he's doing it, and he's going to be buying more BTC. So good for him, right? Pab Akibara says it's all speculation. You're right, it is. I gotta figure out what I'm doing on a non-random way based on something. So what do you got, right? This is what I got. What do you got? Now, see, he says we should go to the roulette wheel and bet it all on red and black. Fun fact about me, I don't go to the casino, and I don't sports gamble. I don't play poker. I don't feel like I have an edge there. I feel like I have an edge here. That's why I do what I do. I added to my MSTR when it was near the Kijun. Yeah, I don't hate that. It's just like, again, go to the Caspa example. Like, it's up 81,000%. It could keep going. But what are we doing here? What are we doing here? MSTR. It's up. This is just in September. It was up 250%. Here it's up 160%. Of course it can go to infinity. That's not the point. This is about probabilities. What do we think is going to happen today? Probably nothing. Probably sideways. What happened the last time it went up 150%? It consolidated for a little while. So, like, yeah, I'm bullish as the next guy, but let's be real here. Even if this doubles from here, I will not be disappointed. I did not participate. I don't see a trade here for me. I just don't see a trade. So, that's all I got. I don't have anything there. Pab. I love these people. I love this. How this is like catnip for me. It's catnip. I love it. I did not bet on Jake Paul and Poly Market. I didn't bet on the election either. I don't have an edge there. Pab says BTC. Most of the people on YouTube, by the way, can't read this because they're not on Twitter, but he's saying BTC has no value. It's going to go to zero or infinity. I love it. I just love it. That's what keeps me here. All the people who think it's worthless, it's a pyramid scheme, whatever, right? When that flips on the percentage, right now we have a lot of people who just think it's still worthless. Fine, whatever. What do I care, right? What do I care what other people think? That's why I think this is still a good place to be. Everybody hates this. They hate that MSTR is going up. All right, last one. And we'll get out of here. 1 inch. I don't know, man. Let's take a look. Sure. It's trying to bottom on these like lower tier coins. You just have to be careful of the unlocks and the supply dynamics. Because the TA may look one way or the other, but if they are just dumping 5% of this supply a month or whatever, not saying that that's what they're doing. You just have to, you don't want to be in front of that most of the time, you know. Is this my favorite chart? No. It is. Is it my 10th favorite chart? Also no. But it looks okay. It looks okay. Sure. Okay. Coin has been trading more like ETH than BTC. If I can find it on my list. In a vacuum, I don't hate this flag here. I don't hate this setup. You just have to hope, like, if this is trading like ETH, you have to hope ETH is bullish. That's kind of it. You know, yeah, like, I don't hate the setup, but if it's correlating to ETH and ETH isn't bullish, you can't expect coin to be bullish. Like, coin was down 5% today. BTC's up 2%. How does that make sense? Even ETH is even basically break even on the day. Why is coin down 5% today? You know, that doesn't make sense to me. I love this. This is Pav. You're my favorite person. See, normally everybody's in chat like, it's going up, bro. We're so bullish. And Pav is like, MSTR is a Ponzi scheme. He didn't say Ponzi. He just says, MSTR dude became a billionaire in a month, leaving with worthless stocks. That's the other thing that's weird about MSTR. Sailor's telling you to buy MSTR while he's dumping MSTR. Just doesn't make any sense. It breaks people's brains. Anyway, so coin. In a vacuum, it's a flag. It looks good. In reality, it's correlating to ETH or worse. So you got to be careful with that. Can't say, not saying it can't do well. It's just, that's the reality. Hood. I don't have anything really more to say. You know, again, it's like part of the game of trading is just being there, seeing this stuff play out hundreds of times, potentially thousands of times, and then having the confidence when you see a setup you like to take the trade. So the trade on this was 2024 when it broke out of the multi-year consolidation. At this point up here, like, there isn't a trade for me. It probably goes to 40, 50, probably goes higher. I just don't have a trade or a setup. There's nothing here for me. That's all. So I'm not bearish on it. It's just what is there to do? I don't know. From a like fresh trade perspective, I have no idea. Like, would I rather trade Hood or Schwab? Here's a good one. I think that this is a fresh breakout that has room to run, whereas Hood has already gone up 3x, whatever it is, 2x, right? It's the same thing with like software versus semis or any lead lag relationship. We can do Schwab over Hood. Schwab over Hood, clearly not bullish. Kind of like ETH BTC, honestly, you know. I still like the Schwab USD chart versus Hood USD. IVZ, what is it? IZV, IV, yeah, Invesco. Invesco is another one. I like this chart because it's done nothing for years and it might break out. Against Hood, you get the same picture, right? It's clearly bearish, but has it bottomed, I guess, is the question. Maybe not, maybe yes. I don't know. What was the other one I was thinking about? I can't remember. I can't remember. Woo is another exchange token, right? It looks okay. I got nothing for you. Just ranging, right? Is there a better chart for this? I got nothing. Uh-oh. Pab, see, Dupre, can I call you DD? I didn't even pay him to say this. Pab's not going to read this because he's on Twitter. So I'm going to read it to Pab. Dupre on YouTube says, "You literally changed my life showing Hood. Bought Leaps October 2023 for January 2025. Insane gains, life-changing." Now, he could be lying. I could have paid him to say that. But maybe that's real, Pab. I don't know. Maybe it's real. ICP-BTC. Double D, baby. Just like he likes his women, am I right? I'm kidding. It's a joke. Calm down. ICP-BTC. I don't love it. It does have a... So this would be a tweezer bottom on the weekly. The second... I'm going to zoom in. Enhance. The second week, the wick did not exceed the previous week. So that makes it a tweezer. And then this week, we're actually higher than the candle close of last week. So it doesn't look horrible. I don't love it. Kind of similar to TIA, where it's like it's in this bearish channel after the breakdown. I like it a little more above the cloud. For these like depin coins like Filecoin, you have to check the market cap too. So if we go to, is this gonna work? Yeah. It's like Solana. Like the Solana market cap is at an all-time high, I'm pretty sure, but price... Is price at an all-time high? I don't think it is. So Filecoin is down 74% from the market cap all-time high, but the price is down like what? 97% from the all-time high. So there's like this weird FDV dynamic that you can't ignore for sure. Yeah, they're all paid actors. Pab says he's all paid. Pab left or something. He stopped typing. It's weird. They're all paid actors though, for sure. Josh's vids took me from 100 to 4,000 ETH last run. Forever grateful. Love to hear it. That's what this is all about. All right. I don't think I got anything else. I like XLE here still. I think this chart looks great. Just some random, random TA stuff. Ascending triangle failed already once. Is it going to fail here again? I don't know. Another very interesting setup is EVAV. Now, this this trade probably is a terrible idea. Let me pull it up here. So this is leverage. It's a leveraged ETF on EV companies. Okay. Trump does not like. I don't know how to say this. He doesn't like this sector. We'll just put it like that. You've got him protecting Elon. I don't know. Like there's tons of reasons why this is an awful idea. So you got to keep that in mind. But I like the chart. We like the chart, chat. We like the chart. It has literally been down only since inception, basically. And what's interesting is even up here, it tried to head and shoulders out, but it failed, right? It just died. Okay, great. So down here, like that could happen again. This could just be another failure, but I like that it has been flat for a very long time, hasn't entered the cloud yet, is holding at this horizontal level. So I bought some of this today. I like it. We'll see. We'll see if this could go to 40, 60. I doubt it goes to 60, but very interesting setup. Terrible idea. Interesting setup. I don't think there was anything else. Oh, somebody was asking me about TLT. I mean, it looks okay. It's just, it's a mess, right? TLT is like the GigaBrain trade. You have to have some idea on direction of rates and macro, and then like, does the market agree with you? What's your time horizon? I don't know. 10-year went down today. That's really good for risk assets. The dollar keeps plummeting. That's really good for risk assets. Oil also going lower. I think that's great. I would love to see oil at like 40. I think if Trump is in office and they crash oil to 40, I think that would just be hilarious. SMCI, I would not touch with a 3,000-foot pole. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. You know, there's 2 million things you could be trading. Just why? Like, there's so much new headline risk and regulatory risk and like delisting risk. I don't know. Like, you literally have no idea what could just be a headline and just crush this thing. So it's just not for me. All right, we're gonna stop there. I talked about Solana at the beginning. You can watch the stream for that. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Touch base on Sunday. We'll see if we broke through 100K or not. If the volume was acceptable this stream, whereas in the past it hadn't been, give me a shout in the comments. That's all I got for this one. Take care. Happy trading. I'm like freezing up on how to stop this thing. All right. Happy